Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to a brand new mod spotlight. Today, taking a look at a mod that's a little bit different than most of the mods that we see on my channel. Usually I'm taking a look at mods that are like super complex technical mods or like crazy magic mods. Today we're looking at a mod that adds a bunch of food, and it is Pam's Harvest Craft. Pam's Harvest Craft is the mod for you if you're tired of eating bread, steak, and potatoes, which is pretty much all Minecraft has to offer in terms of food. Pam's Harvest Craft adds a bunch of different food options. There are literally dozens, if not even hundreds, of different types of plants you can grow. Between the different saplings that produce different types of fruit, like lemon and cherry and pear and cashews and plums and pistachios and gooseberries and coconut and almond and pecan. Boy, oh boy, there's a lot of trees. In addition to that, there's a whole bunch of fruits and like blueberries and blackberries and candleberries. The raspberries taste like raspberries. There's even snozberries. Well, I don't know if that's true. But there's also a bunch of other plants and stuff that you can grow. Just tons and tons of different food options. And you can combine them into all different kinds of meals that are pretty fun to play with. So if you're into farming and want to have a budding farm that can do a whole bunch of different producing of goods and stuff, Pam's Harvest Craft is totally mod for you. We're going to look at the basics of Pam's Harvest Craft today. We're not going to go and do every item that's available, but I will show you how to get all the stuff that you need to get to be able to produce all the items that you might want to produce. And eventually you can make some really good meals that can feed you a lot better than some of the vanilla Minecraft items. Larger meals and deluxe meals can feed you, snacks not as much, but different types of meals have different attributes that will fill your hunger and saturation differently. So let's get started taking a look at Pam's Harvest Craft. So at its core, Pam's Harvest Craft is all about planting crops and getting a big farm going with many different resources. Where do you get these crops? Well, you're going to want to find in your world this nifty little guy, a shaded garden, or one of any other types of gardens that are available. There are 6. Okay. Shift left click to pick up the garden and plant it again. The reason you might want to do this, frankly, is because these will spread similar to mushrooms. So these things will start to spread around and kind of grow out, and you can get more of them. If you break them with a normal left click, it will break and give you 3 random different types of food. Nice. That's pretty cool. Now from there, you can take that food and turn it into food that you eat, or you can turn it into the appropriate seed. So pretty much almost all seeds in the mod come from getting the food source first, and then you get the different types of seeds. So if you find some gardens in your world, like so, and you go ahead and break them, you'll find a whole bunch of cool stuff. So we'll get some onion seeds, we'll get some barley seeds, etc., etc. Cool? And obviously, the different types of gardens are going to get you different types of resources. Cool. You might also find some kinds of trees in the world that are growing crops. Neat. These happen to be gooseberry trees. Cool. Oh look, there's another garden. The gooseberry trees, as you can see, you simply right-click on the fully grown crop, and it will go ahead and pick the fruit, and then the fruit will regrow itself over time. So don't break the crop plants like this. There's a reason that it's taking a long time to break. You're not supposed to break them. You want to right-click to remove the fruit. Once you've gotten enough pieces of fruit, you can go ahead and use it to craft food or get yourself a gooseberry sapling. So the different types of saplings that are available through Pam's Harvest Craft, and you can see there's quite a few, like, a couple dozen. You basically get the 3 types of fruit that you're looking for, combine it with any regular sapling, and you'll get the sapling for the type of tree that you're looking for. So let's get, gooseberries, for example. Get yourself some bone meal and happily grow your tree. Hooray! And you'll notice that once grown, you've got regular old oak wood, but you've got the gooseberries. You can bone meal these guys. Totally an option. Nice. Planting crops works like any other crop from vanilla Minecraft. You simply till some earth around some water and plant your crops in the ground. Nice. There you go. A bunch of crops are planted, and they grow just like regular vanilla Minecraft crops. So you can use your watering can to increase your growth ticks and speed things up, or you can apply bone meal to help them grow even faster. Nice. Once fully grown, right-clicking on the crop will harvest it for you. So you can simply right-click to harvest it, and it'll leave the plant planted in the ground. This is really useful because basically sometimes you might want to do that. You typically want to just be able to get your resources, and you know, this is a good way to go about it. So again, applying bone meal, right click to harvest your plant. One of the other objects you might find floating around in your world is a beehive, typically not found on the ground but up in trees. Beehives, if broken, will give you access to a queen bee. Nice. Queen bees are placed inside apiaries, and after a long period of time, they will start producing resources for you. You can speed this up by planting flowers near the apiary. The apiary is going to produce things like honeycombs and wax and bee grubs. Eventually, the bee that you place in there will die out, and you can take one of the bee grubs that you get from your dying bee and combine it with some royal jelly. Royal jelly is made by taking one of your nearly dead bees and just throwing it in a crafting table. So the dead bee produces royal jelly, you combine it with a new bee grub that you get, and suddenly you've got yourself a new queen. Cool. So we do our royal jelly here, combine these two, and you're good with a new queen bee. Awesome. Looks pretty good. And then you pretty much just let them hang out in the honeycomb. And then the honeycombs, you can get honey out of your honeycombs. You can also combine them into honeycomb blocks. And wax can be used for a bunch of different things. You can get wax comb blocks. One of the blocks you're going to need to start processing some of the resources you get is the presser. The presser is pretty easy to make, just piston and iron. Plant that down in your world and throw your items in there. Some items are going to need to be processed in the presser, and honeycomb is one of them. You're going to wind up getting honey and pressed wax. Cool. And wax combs, when pressed, will also get you some items, probably just pressed wax. Nice. And then the pressed wax can be used for things like wax block. You can also get some leather and some nifty little candles. Cool. The candles have a pretty neat little look to them. Nice replacement for torches. Some other uses of the presser include soybeans. So once you get soybeans, you can press them in the presser, and you'll wind up getting some good stuff out of it. Typically silken tofu, which can be used for some of the food that you're going to be making, and grain bait, which we'll take a look at in a moment. You can also place that silken tofu back into the presser to turn that into hardened tofu, firm tofu, and soy milk. Nice. Another super useful block that's really nice to have is the well from Pam's Harvest Craft. The well is basically an infinite water source in one block. Neat. Simply right-click with an empty bucket, boom, to fill it up and get yourself a water bucket. Not bad. Right-clicking again obviously will plant your water on the ground, so be careful about that. You can also convert your water buckets into fresh water. Nice. And that fresh water can be used in a myriad of recipes. It should be noted you can also get fresh milk from buckets of milk, and then the fresh milk can also be used for a bunch of different things, like making cake and other recipes. At some point, you'll probably get to the position where you want to get specific plants or crops, and you haven't had a chance to find them in the world yet. Never fear, there is the market. The market's a pretty nice little device. For the cost of any emerald, one emerald that is, you can get any seed in the game. So pretty much just flip through the different arrows here, and all the seeds and all the saplings that are available are going to be available to you. Nice. Eventually, after clicking many times, you'll find some regular vanilla seeds and then get to the saplings as well. And then regular vanilla saplings too. So pretty much the whole gambit of crops is available to you, courtesy of a few emeralds. And then just click buy, and you've got paper bark sapling. Or, oh cool, you actually get access to eggs as well, so you can spawn cows and stuff. 12 for a spawn a horse, not bad. Neat. So pretty much all the seeds are available through the market at the cost of just a few emeralds. Not bad. If you are looking to get emeralds, or maybe to trade up, you can go ahead and make yourself the shipping bin. The shipping bin is a way to get yourself emeralds for the cost of half a stack of plant parts. So for example, if you're growing corn, using corn seeds, you can go ahead and put half a stack in here and hit sell, and you'll get yourself an emerald. Nice. So you can trade your food for emeralds, and then you can trade your emeralds for more types of food. Now, earlier we found some bait. We got the grain bait from pressing stuff, but you can also craft it. So you can see pretty much any kind of grain plus string will be grain bait. There's other types of bait. So fruit bait pretty much any type of fruit plus string will be fruit bait. Veggie bait, any type of vegetables plus string. And then there's fish trap bait. The baits are ways to get resources from animals without actually building an animal farm. So basically you plant a device called a ground trap. The ground trap has to go in the ground, meaning it has to be surrounded on at least, I think it's 5 sides, by some grass. So a contraption like this works. Throwing your bait in there and the different types of baits will pretty much get you different types of food. So for example, we found some raw turkey here. Neat. And over here, we found some raw rabbit and a bone. Cool. So the different types of baits, you basically just plant them in the ground and place your grain bait in there, and eventually it'll work its way in. The fish trap bait needs to go inside a water trap, and the water trap has to be surrounded, as you probably guessed, by water. So you just plant your water trap in the ground, some fish bait, and after a while, it'll slowly produce resources for you. Cool. Now, what cooking mod wouldn't be complete with a little bit of bakeware? There's a bunch of different bakeware that's available, and basically if you look in JEI for some recipes, you'll be able to find what's needed. So things like breads and stuff will typically require bakeware. This is one of the crafting components. The nice thing about this is when you use it, it's like a bucket, so you get it back. It's not going to be destroyed every time you craft. You also have access to a pot where you can go ahead and get a bunch of different things. Basically, pots are usually used to make soups and stuff, and yeah, different cool things. You can also use it to make fried chicken, Soren's favorite. You can get skillets, which are another crafting ingredient. So basically there's several different things: a saucepan, a juicer. Juicers are pretty good. They're very useful because they can juice your liquids for you. So basically you combine a juicer with some kind of fruit, and usually a snowball, and you'll get a smoothie, or just the fruit itself to get fruit juice. Nice. So you can see here's carrot juice. Here's apple juice, and these things work as a nice light meal, and they're usually a little bit better than the regular apple itself. So early game, right, if you've got some fruits laying around and you just make yourself a juicer, which is literally just a piece of stone and a pressure plate, you're pretty much going to have a better time with eating and drinking than you would with just regular vanilla Minecraft. So bunch of different, as you can see, different materials that are used as crafting components, and you'll be able to get some good stuff out of them. And finally, I want to talk about the meal system. So we've seen on the tooltips of some of these things, light meal, snack. I mean, obviously there's a ton of different things. So like snacks. Basically, things that are labeled as snacks will restore a very small amount of hunger and saturation. And then the higher tier meals will supply more. So, for example, if we take a look at meals, there's plenty of different options. And some of the larger meals, like honey glazed ham and these things, will produce much more hunger and saturation for you. And I think that about wraps it up for the Pam's Harvest Craft Spotlight. It's definitely a fun mod if you're into like farming and building out large farms with different resources and combining them to get different types of food. Totally a fun mod to play with. And obviously there's different trees that provide things. You could pretty much spend your whole life playing Minecraft and getting all the different types of fruits and vegetables and saplings and seeds from Pam's Harvest Craft. And then if you're struggling to find any, remember to go check out the market and this little guy to sell your seeds. For now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the Pam's Harvest Craft Spotlight. As always, take it easy.